In the good old days, you couldn't total a car unless you rolled it a few times or smacked it into something with unbelievable force, but these days it seems like they'll total a car out for any reason at all. Why is that? And why does it seem to happen to Teslas most of all? Well, it's not just Teslas, and it's not necessarily the reasons you think, so we're going to look at McLaren, we're going to look at Tesla, we're going to look at a few other brands and understand what's really going on. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So this is a crazy one. I saw this story. You may have seen it as well. Did you know it's basically impossible to total a McLaren F1? Car wrecks are unfortunately nothing common here in the US, and we can't seem to figure out how to stop them. Some of us can. Some of us have a few pretty solid theories. As long as people are safe, the car's insured, life moves on. But what about these? Well, here's the thing. This car essentially cannot be totaled because it's too valuable. Even if you have to rebuild it from nothing but the VIN itself, it's still worth more to actually pay to have the repairs done. So what do? It's because they're so rare, they're so valuable that if you smash it into a wall, they will not total it. They will repair it because replacing it costs that much. So what does that mean for Tesla? I mean, Tesla's no McLaren. Why Tesla cars get totaled so easily? Well, this Yahoo News is living up to its name. You'd have to be a Yahoo to break it down this simply, but we're going to try anyway. Tesla's cars are tremendously complex with a multitude of sensors and custom body parts. That's a car. You just described a car, my friend. Insurers are increasingly declaring Tesla cars totaled in an accident instead of paying for a fix. Crash your shiny new Tesla? Yeah, because there's so many tech features like sensors and cameras. Guess what? Again, you're describing a car on top of highly specific parts that can only be fixed by Tesla or one of its approved body shops. You're describing a car. Every car has specialized parts. You cannot put your Jeep parts on your pickup truck if it's not, a Jeep. Come on. There is some parts sharing within a brand, but cross-brand not so much. And come on. A lot of the 3 and Y parts are parts in common, and those are two of the best-selling cars in the country. So a Tesla structural battery pack is going straight to the grinder. Okay. And that's Sandy Monroe. So a study by 2 major salvage companies found that a vast majority of more than 120 Model Ys that were declared totaled had fewer than 10,000 lifetime miles. Hey, I get that it's fast. Don't go fast. Don't go fast on public roads. Do it on a racetrack. I made a whole video about that this week, in fact. So, and the other thing is it can take time to get parts. In that regard, Tesla is not doing the best work of all the companies. But insurance is writing off lightly damaged Teslas. Total doesn't necessarily mean destroyed. It just means that there's an equation. And the equation is, what does it cost to fix? Plus, how much time does it take? Minus, what could we sell this thing for at auction? And the answer is often, you could sell it for a lot at auction. A totaled Tesla is worth a whole lot of money, especially if it is lightly totaled. But this is one I found on a BMW forum. Occasionally I look through the auction and salvage sites just for fun. Every once in a while I see a car like this with a salvage title that either says normal wear or minor dents and scratches as the reason for the write-off. Anyone have any idea how minor scratches could total $90,000 on a car with only 4,500 miles? Yeah, mine was totaled after putting 1.5 thousand miles on it. From just looking at it, you think it's brand new, but it was struck by lightning. Yeah, you got to tear that car apart. You got to get into the wiring and all that. All the brains are bad. All the wires are bad. It looks fine, but it's totaled. And because it is very much a straight car, it's got minor damage in terms of the body itself. It's going to be a great project car for someone. Someone's going to get an effectively not $90,000, but $70,000 car out of it for a lot less than $70,000. And if people have $40,000 to buy the wreck, and can put their own sweat equity into it, a lot of times people have time, but not money. So that works for them. So those are things that all factor into it. By the way, you guys are the reason this channel exists, and I thank you for your support, whether it's on Patreon, as on YouTube as a channel member, on X as a subscriber, or by using my referral code. All of those help me continue doing my work, and I thank you so much for that. How in the heck is this car totaled? I'm getting scammed. So this is it. This is the whole damage on this car, and it's totaled. Does that look totaled to you? It looks to me like, a hood, maybe I mean, a tiny bit of frame bending. It doesn't look like that much damage, but $14,000 is the repair value, is the repair cost. Well, part of it is the cost of labor has gone up. Specialty shops charge a lot, and auto body repair is a specialty. So this is not a crazy idea to me. And in its current condition, it's still worth probably $5, 6, $7,000 to someone as a salvage. Someone will buy that, fix it in their own garage, and drive it and love it. So it's got a lot of value that you have to factor in that regard too. And it's pretty crazy when you think about it. And is it a scam? Well, why didn't you get gap insurance? That's really not what we're talking about. It's my first wreck, and every time ever dealing with insurance. So there's a lot of learning to do. All I know is that I've been paying insurance anyway. They end up totaling out cars that you would think they might not have to. Hey, why are auto body repairs so expensive? Well, all late model vehicles require a pre and post diagnostic scan. Big deal. Modern sensors may need to be recalibrated. That can be a lot. If you have any kind of advanced driver assistance and it is mounted to the windshield, even replacing the windshield could mean that you need to take your car to the factory authorized service center for recalibration. That turns what used to be a $300-400 fix into something that could be many thousands. Most manufacturers now use 3-stage waterborne paint systems, which you got to match, which means they have to have their own specialized paint booth. The use of high-strength steel has increased significantly. That adds a cost and complexity. Fewer structural components are being sectioned in collision repair per manufacturer specs. Look, we want this to crumple in the right ways. If it's just a steel ladder kind of frame and you're just bolting fenders on, that's easy. You can replace those yourself practically. They might not line up very well, but you could do it. But if you're talking about a unibody construction, which virtually all cars and light passenger vehicles are, it's a whole thing. It is a entire structure. You're not putting a cast on it. You're replacing part of the tortoise's shell. Additional manufacturer specifications are required for corrosion protection and metal conditioning. Tools and training requirements have become more rigorous, which is a good thing. Look, I get it that times have changed. They have. You look at some of these old bridge projects. There's a bridge on Interstate 5 that connects Washington and Oregon that they've been trying to replace for 20 years. They're still trying to replace it. Maybe it'll happen. But the trick is they say, look, this bridge only cost, $10, $20, $30 million at the time. And even adjusted for inflation, it's nowhere close to what the replacement cost would be. And that's because times have changed. Requirements have changed. Now it has to be wide enough to have, you can't do overly narrow lanes like they used to get away with for cost savings because they're dangerous. You have to have an emergency lane for breakdowns. Otherwise, ambulances can't get on. There's nowhere for fender benders to move over to. It's a safety concern, a big one. And because of where this particular one is, it has to be high enough to allow ship traffic, but you can't use a suspension bridge because it's too close to the airport. It's a whole thing, and it's going to be very expensive to fix. And there are reasons why they can't just slap a toll on it. It would cause a nightmare to the other infrastructure in the area. You can't do it. So they're working on it. These things cost more than they used to, in large part because of those kinds of new regulations. Not all regulations are a bad thing. Remember, every safety rule you've ever seen is written in blood. Every line of a disclaimer that you have to sign is written in a lawyer's blood. Probably not theirs, probably yours. Insurance company estimates are frequently too low. Yeah, shops should follow specific guidelines in order to offer a lifetime guarantee. Is that something they offer? That would be pretty cool if they did. I don't know if that's something they actually do, though. And then let's get to the cost of the actual vehicle's salvage. Now, this is just a recent one here. I pulled up Copart where you can buy damaged vehicles. And you've got this car. Look at that. It is just this corner that looks messed up. Could be a lot more. $16,000 was the bid as of the time of pulling it. This is not the actual picture. Not repairable flood damage. $16,000 for a not repairable car. Clean title, it says. Okay, we'll skip that one. Clean title. Salvage title. Salvage title, $15,000. Yeah, most of the cars on Copart are totaled. This one has been in quite a bit of love here. 12,000 for it still. Crazy. This one, oh wow, that is so beat up. 12 grand. You can still pay. That was the current bid as of the time of pulling this. 12 grand. That looks like a fair bit of damage. So they have a lot of value when you're looking at them in that way. I know I've said this before. I'll say it again, but not for a while. Chattanooga charge, May 29th and 30th. By the way, what did I miss and misunderstand? Leave that in the comments. We're going to talk about this real quick. It's how I know what I'm talking about here, guys. The videos where I try to make you smarter, and the comments are where I hope you can make me smarter. The Chattanooga charge, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff. I'm just going to hit refresh and see if anything has changed. We've got all these great speakers. Maybe some more will be added soon. They are in discussion with a number of people who are possibly attending. It will be a lot of fun. These 8 clubs are putting it on March 29th and 30th. Chattanooga. Be there or don't, I guess, but you will be square because we're all going to be triangles. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? I'll leave it into them comments below, and stay tuned, stay juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in Chattanooga.